The original Metal Gear Solid in the Master Collection plays it very safe. It's running on PS5 in this case, but in truth, there isn't any difference in playing it on Switch, Xbox Series X, or PC. The reason being, MGS1 takes the straight emulation approach, with development on this portion of the collection being handled by developer M2. And as such, many of the quirks of the original PS1 game are preserved in software. We get the same base resolution of 240p, and of course PS1's signature affine texture warping, causing texture maps to wobble in effect as you move the camera. In terms of the game's frame rate, the hardware clock speeds are simulated too, meaning it caps at 30 frames per second, with hard drops to 20 FPS and under, usually in the first person view. But there is one big point here. If you buy the Master Collection in European territories, it seems to default to the European region PS1 version of the game, which is of course capped to 25 FPS to suit the 50Hz PAL standard. So selecting English UK, or in fact any European language from the game's front end, will boot this PAL version with a lower max frame rate. Hardly ideal. The good news is the Master Collection also includes the North American NTSC version as an optional download, accessed by selecting the English US option as a language. And, as with the PS1 original, this gives us a smoother 30 FPS cap with 60Hz displays in mind. Overall, while it is great we have both PAL and NTSC versions available, for the completist anyway, it is a shame that the NTSC US and Japanese releases involve an extra download. These two versions are highly recommended though, and really should have been the default ways to play. Sticking to the English US version, it's clear M2 and Konami opt for a no-frills approach to the game itself. Besides the swapped button prompts to suit modern consoles and the various themes for the borders, there are no visual settings. There are no options to even scale the image, or CRT filters to mask the PS1's dithered picture. Though at least, Konami has stated some video options in this vein are planned for a future update. For now, at least, the biggest downside is that the Master Collection's emulation here just doesn't scale the game's image well to 4K displays, and it really could be so much better. Here's genuine PS1 footage for example. This is clean, razor-sharp capture, kindly supplied by John Linneman through his PS1 digital and HDMI-enabled original console. And yes, the core visuals are identical, it's just that the crucial point of image quality suffers in the Master Collection upscale. The definition of text, the clarity of 3D elements scaling from 240p, are muddied using M2's bilinear filtering here. Not only that, but the emulation of audio is also sadly inaccurate in this release. Listen close, and there are audio hiccups, a popping effect, as this submarine passes by, which is a common issue with emulating PS1's reverb effect. I'll play John's original PS1 capture first via the PS1 digital, where sound is flawless, and then right after that I'll play the Master Collection version.
The nuclear weapons disposal facility on Shadow Moses Island in Alaska's Fox Archipelago was attacked and captured by next-generation special forces, being led by members of Foxhound. The nuclear weapons disposal facility on Shadow Moses Island in Alaska's Fox Archipelago was attacked and captured by next-generation special forces, being led by members of Foxhound.
All round, MGS1's delivery on modern-day consoles leaves so much on the table, so much potential untapped. Even as an option, a native 1080p or 4K version of the game would have been a hugely welcome extra. Case in point, looking at PS1 emulators on PC like DuckStation, the results really do hold up surprisingly well, I think. In comparison with DuckStation running at a native 4K on the right side, plus a fix for PS1's texture warping, we have just a glimpse of what could have been. Now, I'm not expecting every console to hit this resolution in the Master Collection, but certainly 4K should be viable on PC, PS5 and Series X given the power on tap. As it stands though, MGS1 fans are treated to a huge wealth of great options in the Master Collection front end, the Master Book, the script, and multiple versions, but the game itself, besides the button prompt changes, looks and plays much like it did back in 1998.